Good. Hi, guys. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're at. Let me make sure. I think I was rushing this morning because I had a lovely person. I had a check-in call with one of my clients, Sue. I did not get the Zoom link up, so I'm so sorry. Let me get in here. Zoom link for today. Apologize. I was a dear, lovely client of mine who I've known for a very, very long time. We just needed to do a quick check-in. Okay, I'm linking that Zoom right there. Here we are. Okay, see, there's the Zoom link. Okay, guys. All right, thanks for sticking with me as I get all that organized. I apologize. So today we're going to talk about station 5. So station 5 is I've been cleaning my office, and I'm realizing I have things out on the floor because I'm in a purge moment. We're going to talk today about station 5. But before we even talk about station 5 deals with everything: throat, jaw, mouth. This can be such a really important area for us because if you're not able to express yourself in the world, and that doesn't just mean vocally, it means how you walk or move, the actions you take, and how you think about yourself. Self-talk is found in this area as well. And if this is imbalanced, or if you feel very stuck in being able to speak your truth, to take the actions you really need to take for your truth, for your alignment, then you'll find yourself feeling like you're procrastinating. And I find that procrastination is usually not because the person doesn't actually want to take the action. It's usually self-sabotage because they've been trained. Maybe they don't deserve to take the action, or they don't deserve to speak the thing, or whatever it is. Okay. So we're going to talk station 5 today. One thing I wanted to talk about quickly is that I'm so sorry. I got a call over the weekend from my little daughter. And so I apologize. I still have a little bit, but I'm almost through it. So one of the things I wanted to talk about that has dawned on me as very, very important information is that when we are thinking about shifting our life at any possible level, okay, one of the most important things you can do is to embody that change in the moment now. Okay. What do I mean by that? So a lot of times we want to shift into whatever life that is, whatever, experience of life, whatever, feeling in life, whatever you're looking for, how you look, how you feel, whatever that is, whatever that dream is for you. Right. And so one of the things that's very important is to actually sit down and think through, and this is perfectly in alignment with station 5, which is why I want to bring it up right now. Sit down and think through. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you can't hear the trash truck. I've got a trash truck going by in my house right now. They'll be zipping out soon. Think through, if you were living the life of your dreams right this instant, what would you be? What would you be doing? What would you be thinking like? What would you be dressing like? Okay. What would you be eating? How would you be moving about the world, right? What would be the things, if you were that person right in this moment, what would that look like for you? How would you be different than you are now? And then what I want you to do is actually list out, because this is part of that self-expression that calls in the manifestation, okay? And it's embodying your future reality now, becoming that person now. A lot of people will, once they think through this and you start making decisions as that future self. You start talking as that future self. You start dressing as that future self, right? Once you do that, a lot of people will call that like a quantum shift. And it seems that way because everything starts to change. It's one of the most powerful ways that you can actually call in your future dream life is to be it in the now today, right? And so, that's one of the things I want you guys to look at as we're looking at station 5, and indeed looking at any of the stations, actually any goal, any dream, any desire you have. I want you to think through, if you were already living that life that you desire, how would you be reacting to things in your life? How would you be thinking about things in your life? How would you be speaking about things in your life? How would you, again, be dressing? What would your home look like? What would this, thinking about the entire thing, and then taking action to do it as that, okay, right now. So what you're doing is every time you're confronted with a decision, make it as that higher self, not maybe the self you're at right this instant. The second you do that, you guys, I can promise you things shift so radically. Okay. And this is really all about the actual expression of your desires in being, which is why this is perfect for station 5. Let me take a quick look. Is this a plan if I try to plan? Rachel said, does it matter if I plan to dress the same way? No, rock on, Rachel. Yes, no, Joan, you are also welcome to dress exactly the same. So for me, I tend to, I feel like Stevie Nicks today. Thunder only happens when it's raining. So I got this cute dress in France. And for me, like, people say, well, you work out of the house. Why do you need to dress up? And it's like, for me, it's important because I get dressed up and I'm in this space where I know I can offer my best self to you, right? If I was in sweatpants and stuff, for me, I wouldn't, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't have wisdom, I suppose, but I just wouldn't feel the same attunement of like, it's almost like I take off my, I'm always mom, but take off my mom persona and I come into, medical intuitive, teacher persona. so that's, for me, that's, what I do. But again, this is absolutely whatever you want to do. So if you want to dress the same, rock on with your bad self. But if you want to, and for you, it might be something different, it might be things like how do you change your house? Like right now, as I say, we're going through a purge because every so often I feel this need of like, we're shifting and out with the old, in with the new, right? And so we have actually somebody coming to pick stuff up later today to take to one of the local missions. And so that for me, you may want to do that purge moment of like, what is blocking energy in my space? What is blocking energy in my life right now? What is not in alignment with this person who I desire to become, this experience I desire to have? And whatever that ends up being, those are the things to start to filter out. Okay. So it's really about embodying that person and making decisions from that place. When you do that, you start to attract opportunities and people that are in alignment with that. Okay. So that's really my mission for you today, is to think that through. We'll talk about this is station 5 related, but we'll talk about station 5. Just this morning, this was the download and I was like, all right, I'm saying it today. So this is apparently what everybody needs to hear today. So I want you to take the time to say, literally go through those questions. Like, who would I be? How would I be making decisions? And then I want you to pay attention to when things come into your life, when opportunities present themselves. Are you going to react as the current or maybe, perfectly lovely, but smaller you, or are you going to act from this up-leveled vision and make decisions based on faith and make decisions based on figuring it out, okay? And make decisions based on it's going to work out, right? How can we embody that moment to moment? So that can be kind of challenging. And I will tell you, it feels very good. Once you do it, I promise you, it feels very good. You will have some people in your life that are like, well, who does she think she is? Or like, suddenly you're acting different, and you will have maybe some things, they will fall by the wayside that aren't going to be able to come with you to this next version of yourself. And that's okay, because those things that are here right now that are matching you now are maybe causing problems now. Even you don't want them even on the next level. How are you going to get to the next level with them? Right. So it can be somewhat of allowing yourself to release, allowing yourself to purge, not taking it personally when people make, some comment about, you're changing. You're so changed. It's like, well, yeah, thank you. Say thank you. I am changing. Sometimes what you're changing is you're not putting up with their BS anymore. Sometimes what you're changing is you're not always available anymore, or whatever it is. And so it can feel very uncomfortable for that person when you start behaving from this new self, right? So this is a really good practice. Like if this is all you do today, and even all you do for the week, it would actually be a substantial assist to you manifesting and aligning with your dream life. I promise you. Okay. So if you're going to do it, let me know. Please try it. I promise you, as I say, I was like hit with this morning. I was like, all right, this is something we need to talk about today. Okay. So glad to have you guys here. We are going to talk some more about Station 5, and you'll see in a second. This is all about expression of the self, expressing ourselves vocally, expressing ourselves in how we move, and it also deals with any sort of health issues or problems that might be coming up in the neck, the throat, the neck vertebrae. I'll get a lot of people that'll have like a breakdown in the vertebrae of their neck, cervical vertebrae. And usually, well, actually always, it's because they are not feeling supported in personal relationships and being able to vocalize what they need to vocalize. So if you happen to have that one, that's something that's going on. So let me pull up, hang on, let me get this. While I'm on though, does anybody have any quick questions or anything like that as I go to share my screen? Okay, there we are. That is 4. We're gonna zip through. Okay, here is Station 5, strength of positive communication. So again, even if all you do is just what I told you to do today, you're doing Station 5 work, and you're doing work that's going to help in general. Okay, so say what you mean and mean what you say. This is all about how we express ourselves, how we vocalize what we need to vocalize, etc. And that again is in action, in word, in deed, and thought. All of that is how we express ourselves. Okay. So you'll see here, if Station 5 is high for you, or you're dealing with some Station 5 problems, you got procrastination, feeling like you don't have willpower, constantly self-sabotaging, taking those actions opposite to your goals, saying one thing or doing another, feeling like you want to say certain things, but not being able to literally get them out, not being able to say no, having issues with speaking. I had a lovely person, it was actually my practitioner certificate. She's now a certified practitioner. She had an issue where if she was asked in a group to stand up and speak, even though she was highly intelligent and knew everything she wanted to say, she literally could not speak, like selective mutism. And it came from a pattern in Station 5 from her childhood that we had to get to and retune. A lot of self-criticism. If you find yourself gossiping or judging and criticizing others a lot, if you're in groups that do that a lot, that's one of the places we want to evaluate and get away from that. A lot of communication. I'll see people with a lot of communication problems where they feel like they're not being heard, like you're not hearing me, you never hear what I say, that kind of thing. A lot of misunderstandings, and then lots of not being able to create what you want to, but it's because of self-criticism. Like what your thoughts are really difficult. As we can say, those are the areas. All right, so today we're going to do, along with the embodiment, we're really going to just do one other section here, because these 2 things, if you can implement them today, will be a huge help to you, okay? So a lot of times we'll say we want something, right? We'll start out like, oh, I really, really want that. Or, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I really want to have a business that's flourishing, or I really want to write that book because I know I've got this novel in me, right? And then somehow our choices that we choose are very different. We find ourselves doing really well on our diet, let's say, or not even, I hate the word diet, our wellness program, and we're feeling really good, and suddenly we have an emotional moment and we self-sabotage with like a giant donut. Or, we're doing great, starting to write our novel, and then all of a sudden an emergency or something else happens, or a friend calls like, let's go out for drinks, and we do, right? So we end up sabotaging those things, right? So the problem is we have to have actions which actually back our goals and dreams. And if we don't, the universe goes, well, you say you want this, but I'm not seeing the action for wanting this, okay? So a lot of times, and I have so many people come to me like, what the bleep is wrong with me? I do this, da, 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 da. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. If there's anything wrong, it's that you got programmed that you don't deserve to take these actions to have the life you desire. And a lot of times there are so many different things, and we'll talk about all of those within here, but there's so many different reasons we can have this, where we have this constant pattern of not doing the things that we actually need to do. One of the things I see really common is for empath kids, empath parents as they're growing up, or empath kids as they're growing up, I should say, into adults, and then even as adulthood, because this is what they learned, that they were taught that their own needs needed to go second, third, or 43rd to everyone else in their life. And so when they have a clear goal and they're moving towards it and they're getting things done, then there's that old pull that, oh, somebody needs me. And boom, you're off goal, right? Boom, your needs get put to the side. And underneath that usually is a belief that you don't deserve to have energy and space for yourself, right? That you don't get to have that. You don't get to have dreams. You have to just serve other people. And I see that so commonly, which is why I bring that one up, because it's such a common pattern that I see in my work. So basically, if that's the case for you, I want you to just first off, bring your awareness to it. So if this is something that is hard for you, when you start thinking about, I'd like you to think about in your life, and this station 5 and station 2 have like a little bit of some synergy going, right? Because in station 2, we're looking at where there might be some difficulty in patterns of creating things, right? So in that birthing phase of gestation and so forth. In here, and that's coming from like fears around creation, fears around that. In here, it's like, why can I not take these actions that express my priorities? My husband actually just got a tattoo that says, actions express priorities. And that is the most station 5 tattoo I've ever heard in my life. And it's about the fact that you literally must take these actions to express your priorities. The problem is, if you have been taught that your priorities aren't as important as everybody else in your life, actually, the client I was just talking to, this is so common, you guys, especially for kind people. And unfortunately, it's we are the people that need to be able to actualize things in this world, because we're going to actually do good. The more that we have, the more we give. Okay. So I'm passionate about this one, as you can see. I'm passionate about it. Yeah, I'm passionate about all of it, really. But okay, so you'll see, if you see this pattern in your life, you'll see yourself kind of starting and then you get distracted, or you starting and somebody has an emergency, or you start and then you quickly self-sabotage with something, that you're doing. So you can't, as I say here, you mentally knowing, which is station 6, what you desire is not enough. Like, we can meditate all day long, and that is a great thing. Meditation absolutely rewires your mind, rewires your brain, realigns you with things that you want to desire. You're going to start shifting those expectations right there. But you can't only do that. You must have actions that communicate those beliefs into the world. Okay? All right. Yeah. You're never going to get what you want until you take the actions necessary to bring it into your life. Okay. It cannot happen. It just can't happen. Years ago, a friend of mine was married to this woman, and she wanted to be an actress, and she was out in Los Angeles. And instead of actually going on auditions, so she kept she wanted to be an actress, but instead of actually going on auditions, she would walk around town like shopping and hoping somebody would just discover her. I'm not saying that can't happen. Clearly it does. I think the kid from Harry Potter, that's how he got discovered. He's not a kid anymore. But, let's help it along a little bit. We can't just say we want things. We have to take bold actions in that direction, okay? Now, I hate the word willpower. I'll take a quick drink. Anybody else love Schitt's Creek as much as I do? I think Schitt's Creek is literally I think it's a masterpiece of TV, whatever, dramedy, comedy. It's just a masterpiece. So this is where the word willpower comes in. I hate this word. There is nothing about you. People think there's something wrong with them. When they say, I have no willpower, it's like, you have no will. You have no power. That's not true. You are actually creating the life you're living right this minute. You have to have some power. If you had no power, you'd just be sitting around as a blob, right? The problem is that we get this just drives me crazy. So in the world, we are hit with this, if you don't succeed, it's because you don't have willpower. And they have these you're killing yourself workouts, right? And, these crazy diets where you're eating, paper for 4 days. And, that's willpower. You have to force it into being. And if you can't somehow manage to force yourself into this, right, you are weak, a failure, a loser, barely allowed to live, right? This is the messaging we have been hit with again and again. If you were a child who grew up in an environment like that, this message has been just absolutely battered into your soul, okay? This is the time I want you to race all that you know and think of willpower, okay? Your ability to actually achieve the life of your dreams has nothing to do with some sort of wacky force of strength that you somehow have. And it has so much more to do with truly believing in your self-worth and that you are worthy. You have so much self-love for yourself that you are worthy of making the choices you need to make to lead to the dreams and the desires you have, okay? So it becomes easier to make healthy choices. Rachel, Dan is my spirit animal. Oh my God, yes, I love, oh my God. I love that. Anyway, if you have not watched Schitt's Creek, just seriously, trust me on this one. So what I am honestly asking is that at this point, we find this like deep, deep, deep self-love, okay? This deep self-love that allows you to make the right choices for your life, the aligned choices for your life, because you love yourself so much and you believe in this future self so much and you're embodying it so much that it's easy for you to make the good choice, the choice that's in alignment, the choice that you know is taking you to the life of your dreams, okay? The more that you work on that simple notion of genuinely loving yourself enough to simply make the choices that align you with your dream life, the more you do that, the easier it becomes. The more that things come to you with ease, okay? We cannot just sit around and hope for things. It doesn't happen. That's not really how manifestation works. We cannot, on the other end, if we continue to hustle, if we continue to push, if we continue to think we need to run ourselves into the ground, then you can't create a life of ease and flow, right? If you're pushing that much. So instead, can we come from a place of true self-love that allows people to do that? It's the Radical Self-Love Program. Oh, it is. Yeah. Hi, Donna. Yes. I'll drop a link. The Radical Self-Love Program. You can just download it. It's real. I'm actually super proud of it. So I will make, it's a really lovely ebook and a really lovely practice that goes along with it. I'm extremely proud of that one. And that one would be a phenomenal partner piece right here. Okay. So it's really important to take a look at where do you often get stopped when you are setting these goals for yourself, right? Where, maybe you're doing great, but where you're doing great and then suddenly where are you getting sidetracked? Where are you making the choices that don't work? Where have you been told that a person like you doesn't deserve to take those actions, doesn't deserve to do those things, right? And we have, unfortunately, so many different cultural things where somebody's like, well, they came from this place, so they can only get to this level of success, which isn't true, right? It's not true. Or they're that kind of person, so they don't get to do this or that, right? And that messaging is 100% wrong, and it's something we have to really pay attention to, okay? So I want you to understand, and I'd love for you to make a commitment, and I know this is hard, and this is hard for me too. I will never ask you guys to do stuff I don't do. This is hard for me too. I have to make this commitment again to myself pretty much every day, that I deserve, and you deserve, to put yourself and your goals first, okay? So that means that maybe instead of jumping on the phone and taking care of 20 of somebody else's priorities first thing in the morning, you get up and do 30 minutes of yoga first, because doing the yoga is going to help you to realign and relax. Or maybe it's instead of, solving everyone else's problems in your life for a day, you turn around and go, you know what? No, everybody's fine today. And I'm going to go take a hike in the woods, or I'm going to go take a healthy walk, or I'm going to go sit down and really create my dream catcher board, which we talked about, I think, way back in like week 1, or all of that. Now, in saying that, one of the catches I want you to pay super good attention to is the slip up. Okay. So inevitably, as you start doing this and taking these actions for your best, you will have moments where you slip up, you go back into an old habit, you do something that's not in alignment with where you wanted to go. You make a decision that you're like, oh crap, that decision wasn't what I wanted it to be, right? Probably the pattern would be, oh bleep, I screwed up, forget it, it's over. I'm not even going to try anymore. I'm done. So That's where I want you to bring major self-love and awareness right in that moment. And you go, okay, well, that was a slip up. It was a pattern. This is from an old pattern. I'm shifting. I know I'm shifting it. You can literally say this outside and like out loud, I should say. You can say it outside too, out loud. You can literally say, that's an old pattern. I know that's an old pattern, and I'm going to go ahead and shift it. I'm just shifting it. I'm in the process. I know that I got pulled back because of this, and I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to send even more love to myself, and I'm okay. Because you got to remember, we talked about the shifting of a frequency. It doesn't happen overnight. Yes, there can be quantum leaps, and the quantum leaps can happen fast, but there's usually quite a bit. You've done quite a bit of work to get yourself to a certain platform where you can make that leap, okay? And that work tends to be that you've consistently made choices. You've consistently done retuning statements to counter these negative beliefs that you're identifying in this program, right? You're consistently doing these things. Are you doing them perfect? Nobody needs to be perfect. What is perfect, right? What I want you to do is simply be as consistent as you can. And even if you drop the ball a few times, so what? Because each time you pick back up, you are putting that frequency in again. See, this is my frequency move. This is my wave move. My daughter does breakdance. She's been trying to teach me lock and pop, so I don't even know. So that's the frequency you're trying to put. You're putting that frequency, and you can think of me next time doing this at you. If you think okay, I've dropped the ball, I've messed up, then you actually think to yourself, well, yeah, but I've been doing this for 20 days, so I know I've been putting that frequency in, and so I'm going to keep doing it, because eventually each time that I do it, you're doing better. You're having an improvement. I promise you're having an improvement. Okay. I'd love for you to also bring your awareness today, tomorrow, from now on, to every time you make progress. Every time you take an action that's not how you would have done it before and is in alignment with what you desire, congratulate yourself. Every time you get that yoga workout or that walk in, congratulate yourself. We don't do this enough. We go through life thinking only about how we're this or we're that, we're not enough, we're bad, blah, blah, blah. We haven't done enough. Okay. I do it too, you guys. I literally have to work on this all the time. All the time. I have to bring my awareness to it and shift. Little by little, it does get better. I promise you. One of the most powerful things I have started to teach myself to do is to stop and go, hey, you know what? I'm proud of myself. I did a great job with this. We don't recognize our own, how we do things when we do things in the right way. Oh, today I got up and I did my morning future journaling. Way to go, me. Cheers to me. It's going to sound kind of funny, but honestly, if you're not cheering yourself on, who's doing it for you? I mean, I'm in your corner 100%, but I want you to be in your own corner too. All right. So that's what I want to leave you with today. Those are sort of the actions I want you to do. Okay. And tomorrow we're going to actually talk about designing an action plan you can stick to. And I'm going to show you how to take this information and put it into a very, very simple, tiny little plan that will help you as you go through your day making decisions. It will help you to keep making those decisions that are in alignment with what you truly desire to be. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. I get stuck with this sentence. Rachel, you don't know enough, so therefore I feel I have to be constantly in classes before I may know enough of something to be successful. Oh my God, that's such a common one. Oh, that's a common one. Woo! I encounter that one all the time. So you are not alone. You are not alone. I tell you that. Okay, so that comes from a deep sense. That comes from a place where you've likely been told you weren't enough as a child growing up. You may have had to work really hard to try to get attention or worth or love or support from your primary family. You may have, this also happens a lot to highly empathic, highly intuitive kids growing up, because we are the canaries in the coal mine. I actually recently had a really strong experience of being a canary in the coal mine. Maybe I'll tell you guys tomorrow. And I was right on. And it's just such a reminder that we are the canaries in the coal mine, because we are highly, highly sensitive. And that is a direct sentence from a narcissistic father. So yes. Yeah. Okay. First off, that sucks, Rachel. It sucks. Nobody should grow up like that. Unfortunately, far too many people. I don't know if it's probably just the work I do, but far too many people do grow up with narcissistic dynamics, and it's awful. And it's so damaging. I was talking to a therapist one time, and I was like, so many people have the sexual abuse and the physical abuse, and then you have emotional abuse. What do you think is the worst. And she said, honestly, it's the emotional abuse, because the physical abuse you can point to and go, that was wrong. But the emotional abuse, you've oftentimes learned, because as a kid, you have to survive. And so there's like that Stockholm thing where you try to like make it okay in your brain. But what you actually take in is this deep sense of something lacking in you when there's really something lacking in them. And that's one thing that I would love, if any of you guys are dealing with that, if that's something you're looking at, and Rachel, if that's something you're looking at, I want you to sit down. I'd love for you to sit down and write out, what are the things that you feel inside yourself that they told you? Okay. What are the things when you criticize yourself and you know this is coming from something they've told you? Put it down, put it down, put it down. Okay. Write this out. This is good for all of you guys. And I see these going up, and I'll respond to them in one sec. This is a great exercise for everybody. Everybody, put it down. What have people told you? Okay. What have they said? Now, then I want you to look. Was this true about you, or was it actually true about them? So if they said you weren't enough, take a look. Were they actually not enough? Were they actually not living, making big empowered decisions? Were they actually doing those things? Most of the time, what you'll find is the ways that you criticize yourself, especially if you grew up in a narcissistic situation, is that the narcissist in your family and the enabler, they know that there's something inherently missing in them. And unfortunately, instead of acknowledging that and doing the work on it and shifting it, they turn it on the kid, usually the kid that is, and I don't have a better way to say this, and I don't mean it's like better than, it's sort of the kid that's the most special in the family, or has usually empathic, is really soft, not soft, empaths are not, but kind, and is the most intuitive and can see through them and actually genuinely wants for the good of the world. The narcissist hates that, because they know they want that. They want to be that person. And oftentimes they'll put that facade. You guys cannot imagine how many people I've worked with that came up in narcissistic families, and the narcissist in their family was a therapist, a social worker, a coach, a teacher, someone that actually worked with kids, and everybody thought that they're so giving and loving and all this stuff. And the whole thing was a facade. And they would turn this narcissism against, there'd be like the scapegoat kid, who was usually the kid that actually authentically, truly wanted for everyone else's good. Okay. It honestly, I'm telling you, it has happened so many times that I can't ignore it as a pattern. Okay. So I want you to sit down, and you can literally just go through and write this out, and just write it out without even editing yourself. Like, was it you that wasn't enough? Was it you that was selfish? Was it you that was vain? Was it you that, whatever? Was it really you? Or, and I promise you'll find this, was it actually them? Were they selfish? Were they not truthful? Were they the ones that were money grubbing and greedy and whatever else? I've heard it all, trust me, from these kind of situations. Okay. They are, Joan, yes, they are projecting onto you. Actually, that's something, you know what? That might be something you guys, if a lot of you have dealt with something similar, that's probably a mini class I could do down the road. So let me know if that's something, because this is a topic I definitely work with a lot. So I want you to take that time, honestly, that's one of the best possible ways to start to get this out of your body, is to go, wait a minute, they call me selfish when I stand up for myself, but actually they're never around when anybody else needs support, and they don't contribute to anything. So who's the selfish one, right? They don't want you to actually look at the truth of that. Now, I will tell you, when you do this, while you'll feel better, there can also be some like healing crisis that comes, because a lot of these are like deep-seated things you've shoved back into like the subconscious warehouse, and maybe like, duct taped a few of the boxes. And so when they come flying open and you actually have to look at them, just letting you know, it can cause this to be a little bit difficult. And so that's a really good practice. Yeah, a mini class on the empaths and narcissists. Yeah, I think I will do that. That's great. And Donna, real quick, I know we got to go, but this station really resonates with me, and I'm in a stressful situation. My voice shuts down and has even disappeared in the past. Yeah. Okay. So Donna, I want you to take a look at as you go through this, there's in a few pages, actually, you know what? Let's just scooch down there so I can give you the actual page. Express yourself. This one would be good. Let's go down. There's one that here you go. Getting rid of people in your throat. So anybody who knew Kermit the Frog, I love Kermit the Frog. I love the Muppets. And he used to say he had a people in his throat instead of a frog in his throat because, of course, he's a frog. So I use that here because I think what actually really does happen to us is we get a people in our throat. So Donna, I would direct you straight to page 366. And there's quite a few lovely practices there, very powerful practices that will help you with that particular situation. Again, I've had multiple clients where this was what was going on. And it's always a pattern from really childhood or other kind of traumas along in life where they literally shut down. I'll also get quite a few people get really bad sore throats when they have to stand up for themselves or their voice goes hoarse, like really hoarse. And now I'm coughing. My sweet little daughter came home with this little, it's not even a big cold, it's a little cold. We all did fine, but it's just that tickly thing in your throat. Okay. So I'm going to shut down here. Tomorrow we will be going through that action plan. Donna, we will be talking about that. We'll move forward on the voice stuff as well tomorrow and kind of hone in on that. I hope this has been hugely, hugely helpful for you. So I want you to think about the embodiment. Okay. How are you going to embody this future part of yourself? And then I want you to go through some of these things in this beginning part where how do you, wait, we go all the way back. Sorry about that, guys. I hate that. I want you to think through where do you often stop and how can you find that self-love to be able to take actions in alignment with your goals. And finally, I really want you to start congratulating yourself whenever you take a little bit, a mini victory. Congratulate yourself for that. Okay. Those are kind of my three major things for you today. So try to implement those and I will see you guys interested in the mini course. Okay, great. All right. You know what? That would probably be an awesome one. I would love to teach because I deal with narcissists. God knows I've had them in my life. Empaths, they're like moths to flames with empaths. So that'd be probably a really good thing to teach. So let me put some thought to that and see what I can come up with on that one. Until tomorrow, take action for yourself. Embody that future self. Make decisions today from that empowered place. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon.